Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Dalia, and I really don't have to do an intro for this and explain what's going on because you can probably tell by the title of the video. I've decided to reset my winter island. Basically I recently posted in one of my videos talking about this island, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to reset or continue it, and I love my island of Driftwood, but honestly I don't have inspiration to continue building it now, so we're gonna reset. I haven't built on this island since February, and I'm so uninspired, but I have so many amazing ideas for other islands and so many other island themes I want to work on. So while this is a sad ending, this is also a really good thing because I get to start a new island and take you guys along on the journey as we reset and start over. So we're saying goodbye to this island for now. I'll definitely come back to this island theme one day, but we're saying goodbye to Driftwood and officially going to be resetting. So yeah, let's reset. It's baffling to me how easy it is to delete your island. Like the fact that it's like 3 seconds. It's so anticlimactic. Like the first time I did this, I was like, is that it? Like it gives you 3 seconds of deciding and then it's like boom. And then all the hours that you've spent decorating and all the time that you've spent accumulating your items and villager hunting and everything is just all gone. It's all gone. So yeah, we've officially reset. Driftwood is no more. And I apologize to anyone who really wanted to see me continue this island. I know that there were people who love this island, and I'm so sorry. But I don't want to dedicate time to an island I know I'm not going to love to build. So I'll definitely come back to the island theme one day, and we have a bunch of island themes that I'm really excited to start. So yeah, now we have to unfortunately go through the tedious process of finding an island. And honestly, I'm not too picky going into this. There's 2 island themes I wanted to do. Both are summer kind of themed islands. One is a tropical city island that I've wanted to do forever. That was actually the original idea for Driftwood back when I started that island last year before I switched it over to a winter island. And the other island theme is an abandoned city kind of island, an abandoned seaside kind of city island. So as I was debating which island theme to go through, that is kind of like the ultimate decision. That was kind of like the ultimate factor into deciding the map that I wanted, because I really didn't know which of the 2 island themes I wanted to do right now. I really wanted to decorate something in the summer, so either island theme would have been totally fine. I'm almost finished my other island now. I'm like about a little over 50% finished Honey Oats, which is my spring island. If you haven't seen that, I do have tons of videos dedicated to the builds that I've made so far on that island. But once I'm finished that island, then I can reset and do the other island themes. So right now, it didn't really matter to me which of the 2 islands I started first, because I wasn't that far away from decorating the other island. But because I was so spontaneous with this reset, my biggest issue was I didn't know what to name this island. So as I was looking through these maps, like here's my first set of maps. Nice diversity, and I usually like to choose islands that have an airport that's pretty far away from my plaza, or the plaza that's pretty far away from the airport, which is why I chose this first map. But you'll see as I go through the other maps, because unfortunately I did have to reset a bunch of times to find a map that I was happy with. I ultimately went with an island that had a plaza that was really close to the airport, because I figured regardless if it was a tropical city island or an abandoned island, I like the idea of having my plaza really close to my airport, especially with the abandoned theme, which is kind of the theme I was leaning a little bit more towards as I was resetting these maps. So yeah, this is my first set. Other than not really knowing where I wanted my plaza to be, the only like things I wanted for this island was to have either a blue or a green airport. I think the yellow airport is more of a spring or autumn vibe, and an orange airport to me just screams autumn, so I didn't want an orange airport, even though thinking about it now, orange could also be like tropical. But I don't know, I really wanted a blue or a green airport. That was like one of the main things I really wanted. So yeah, I do reset a bunch. Like, here's my first reset. I had an orange theme. I think it's the color of the orange. Like, it's just really like pumpkin orange, which to me just screams autumn. So yeah, this is me ultimately deciding to reset, which I was kind of sad about because Renee is a really cute villager and I really like her and I would have loved to have her as a starter. But unfortunately, yeah. So here is my second set. Once again, I'm starting to like really think about where the placement of the plaza is. That is like the biggest thing for me. And this is when I started looking at like the placement of whether or not the plaza like was directly in line with the airport. And I couldn't, nothing was working. I think I reset like at least 20 plus times, which I know to a lot of people like that's like a really excessive. And trust me, it was a very tedious task, but it did give me a lot of time to think about what the island name was going to be, which after I finally chose the island and chose the theme, because the theme was ultimately going to be decided by the island name. So I eventually go with, this is when I was like, okay, all these islands are quite nice. I went with this one because the plaza was like kind of far away from the airport, like not too far, and it was almost in line with the airport, which I quite liked. And this island I actually really like looking at the flyover, I could definitely see myself really liking this island. And it had pears, which really didn't matter that much to me. But then we opened and it was a green airport, which like but we had Plucky. I don't want a starter villager I've already had, which is why I actually reset a few times in this video while I'm trying to find my island. Trust me. And then look, okay, this reset, look how close this plaza is to the airport, the one that's on the top left. Like, I was like looking at the other ones, but my eye just kept drifting to the top left one because it just like, that's like insanely close. Like, I think there's like 2 tiles between the plaza and the beach, and I'm like, okay, I've never had a plaza this close before. This would definitely be really interesting to decorate. And this is when I was like, okay, maybe I should do the abandoned island, because I could have an entrance which would be more developed than the rest of the island, and then the rest of the island could be completely in ruin. But unfortunately, as we were landing, and like look, it's actually really cool with the beach in the front and everything, but unfortunately as we were landing, it was a yellow airport. Like, we even had Quinn and Lyman as the starters, but it had a yellow airport. Like, I could even consider myself, like, possibly taking a orange airport, but not a yellow airport. Yellow airport, to me, is like spring, autumn. It's too much of a soft yellow to scream summer in my brain, and neither of my islands just fit that. Like, I don't know. I know it's the dumbest thing in the world to reset over the color of an airport, but to me, in my brain, in my heart, it mattered. So we reset again. I did pick another island theme. Like, as you can see, I'm picking a lot more than I'm not it had an orange, and I didn't like it. I don't know. Like, we had Bill and we had Deirdre as the starters, which are both really cute. And then I went through a couple of restarts where I wasn't finding islands that I liked. The island that's on the top right, though, that one, like, the island layout was good. The plaza was almost in line with the airport, and it was pretty close. And honestly, I think I had restarted at least 8 or 9 times at this point, and I was kind of getting annoyed. But the reason I kept, like, pushing for, like, that perfect island is because I couldn't think of an island name. And then I saw the yellow, and apparently every island I choose has a yellow airport, and I immediately restarted. Even though we had Phoebe and Teddy as the starters, which I loved them. And then once again, I found another really good map that was so close. The airport was so close with the plaza. Like, look, that is like, what, like 8 or 9 spaces? But it had a yellow airport. Apparently every single map that has a airport really close to the plaza has a yellow airport. So I just restart. Also, it had starters I really didn't care for, so I was okay with starting then. But I was just getting so frustrated, and like none of the maps were looking right to me. But at this point, I had eventually settled on the island theme. And as you can see, I'm like, oh, maybe I should pick an island that has the plaza further away, because maybe that would look better. And then I saw this island. It's not too far away. It's like okay, right? It's not perfect, but it's good. It's good enough. But then it had Agnes. And it had the blue airport, which I kind of really wanted. But it had Agnes, whom I love, but I've had her as a starter before. And then I'm looking at these airports, and I couldn't choose between the two maps. Not looking at the airports, looking at the maps. And this one's in the middle, and it's really close. And I got to the point where I was just so fed up that even if it wasn't perfect, I'm like, okay, you know what? We'll go through it. We'll go through the motions of picking. But it had an orange airport, so I reset again. I did take a little bit of a break at this point, I think. But I'm like, okay, we're gonna do it one more time. One more time. And at this point I had settled and was kind of like, okay, between the two, I kind of really want a tropical island, the tropical city one. So that's kind of why I was choosing certain island layouts, because I wanted an island that had a plaza centered with the airport as best that I could. But I didn't like my starters, so I reset again. I just kept resetting. At this point, I was losing my mind. At this point, I didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't even know what I wanted anymore. Like, I kept loving the layout, and then I'd see, like, the villager, or I'd see the yellow airport. And I was so frustrated. And like, people are thinking, like, really all of this is because you don't like the color of your airport, or you don't like the layout, or the villagers you start with. You don't have to keep them. Like, I know, okay? And then it came down to choosing between 2 island maps. And I had a feeling that this was going to be the one. Like, at this point, I had probably reset at least 30 times almost. 20, 25, 26. So that was about 3 hours of my life I'll never get back. But it'll all be worth it. Probably. But as we were flying down, I'm like, okay, you know what? As long as it's not a yellow airport, and as long as the starter villagers aren't terrible, I like the island layout. The distance from the airport, from the plaza, is not that bad. I'll take this island. As long as it doesn't have a yellow airport. And it had a blue airport, which is the color I wanted. And it had Boots and Phoebe as starters, who I actually like them both. They're very cute. And you can kind of see my villager, like I'm looking around going, do I restart again? I said hi to Boots and Phoebe. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like just kind of like getting a feel of the island, like doing a little run around. And then I'm like, alright, you know what? We'll go through the orientation. I still haven't picked an island name yet. I still hadn't picked an island name. But as we were doing our little introductions, and as we were placing down the tents, I remembered that last year when I created my first tropical island, Driftwood, that turned into a winter island that we just deleted. Another island name I really liked that was for a more tropical, just a tropical themed island, was Guava. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute. Maybe I can do like Guava Bay or something like that. But then I'm looking at it and I'm like, honestly, I'm really enjoying these like one-worded island names without including like a bay or a cove or like just a random word on the end, you know? So I'm like, okay, you know what? Guava, it's a pretty broad name, so even if I change the theme a little bit, as long as I stay with like within the tropical realm, it's a really cute name. And I love the one-worded name. So yeah, after like, I think I kept it on the screen of like choosing the island name for like 20-25 minutes. I'm like, okay, you know what? Guava is a really, really cute name. So that's the name we went with. So after our little introduction, I did, as you can see, I'm putting Guava and then adding the word bay, because I'm like, I don't know, that looks kind of cute. And it fit. But then I'm looking at it going, you know what? No, I like Guava. Just one word. Very simple. Doesn't need anything more. And that's the name I went with. As you can see, like, I'm like hesitant. I'm like, do I click it? Do I do it? Oh gosh. And yeah, that's the name we chose. And it is going to be a tropical city. Like a very urban city with streets and shops. It's going to be very town city, so it's going to be very structured, which is not an island theme I've really ever done before. I'm trying to branch out and be different with my island themes. So yeah, I've just been inspired so much by everyone's amazing islands that I've seen lately that are very tropical and structured with these amazing streets and these very big builds, and they just look incredible. And that's kind of the vibe I wanted when I first created my tropical island last year, and then it turned into more of a tropical resort island, and then I just kind of lost all inspiration for it completely. Here's hoping I don't lose inspiration for this island, because otherwise we'll be resetting again. But I don't want to reset again. I really want this island to work out. So yeah, I've officially reset my island, and I'm really excited to start this new island journey with you all. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos I make. And yeah, I hope you guys all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!